So many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to your normal Wednesday show.
This is a lie. This is the first thing we can disagree on. This is not the regular Wednesday show.
This is not. This is Brad and I debating the hottest of topics. Normally on a Thursday, but today we're bringing it too early. We thought these topics are just so hot, we need to talk about them right now. We can talk about them today. We can let Jack and Brad fix their lists on a Thursday for once.
Doing stuff and or things. I'm still here, so
you know that's what we ask for, Brad. We always need a little bit of Brad in our lives. And what's up, everyone in the chat? Good to see Nurgle Matt is in here and ready to go.
He is the content promoter.
We are already getting a little bit of disagreement in the chat about whether or not guards should be allowed. You know what? I honestly think I'm going to make this a poll. So
I would make it a poll if I knew how to make polls.
No, don't even worry about it, Brad. I know how to do the technology. And you know what? We're not going to be answering the top question right away. Because I have to tell you what this show is all about. And what this is, just in case you're watching this for the first time, is Brad and I here, we like to sit and answer your questions. And how do we get these questions? We get them from the wonderful Art of War Discord, which you can be a member of if you go to our website, theartofwar40k.com/learn-more, and become a member of the War Room, or you just become a member of our YouTube channel. Easy as that. You can click a bunch of links that are right below this video, and you know what? You can even do it with a super chat. Brad is a sucker for all things shiny and bright, and so any kind of super chat, Brad's going to answer it. Brad can't help himself. Like we know what's going down. All right.
I'm ready to rock and or roll.
Yes. I'm glad to hear that. So we've got some questions in the Discord, as always. Kenny and Jay came for the click and stayed for the bait. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll see what people actually think here. Well, I put a poll in, and I'm just gonna leave that up for the entire video.
Boom. Already voted.
Looks
like it's 100% no.
Oh wow! All right. Well, I'll drop a yes in there. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited for it though. We're gonna give it a little bit before we answer. We want to give everyone time to kind of come hang out with us. We don't want people to come in after we've asked the big question. You know, that'd be a bummer. So let's see. 40K is better without IG. Dang. Okay. Got some controversial takes in there already. All right. Mr. Bradley.
Hit me.
You know what? I'm gonna pull a question for you. Is there any army that you wouldn't jump on the Brad wagon for?
Yes.
Okay.
I already didn't do it.
Is Guard one of those armies? Would you, if Guard was allowed at LVO, would you consider them?
Maybe, but I definitely don't want to play them. There's things that I don't like to play. Mm-hmm. Like, I still like my fluff. So even though I'm a power gaming bandwagon jumping all over the place, I still like to have the fun, and I like to have a good story with it. You know what I mean? So I want my fantastical immortal elves or a super soldier or a demon from the warp. I've never been down with just going, hey man, I'm playing a fantastical game. I guess I'll just be me with a plasma gun.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of assumed that you would jump at the opportunity to play an average sized man.
No, I need to be a super sized man.
Okay.
Like, well, that's just crazy talk. I'll just wear big shoes.
What's up, Adam Lane? Good to see everyone's getting in the chat. Oof. So, all right. So, like, you say that a lot, and my take on it is always like, isn't there some appeal to like travel the galaxy, meet interesting aliens, stab them with a bayonet?
No, I will be those people.
Like,
Why would
I'm
I
gonna be
want to go
honest.
see them?
The guard on guard mirror match is really boring for me for that exact reason because it's just dudes fighting dudes.
Yeah,
But
I
like,
get that
I
right
only
now.
need
You gotta
one
turn
of
on the
them.
news and watch that.
Yeah, seriously. But like, I don't know. I like the like normal man takes a las gun and a bayonet and like is going up against the elves to kill him. Like
Boring.
normal man with a bayonet, like 10 dudes with a bayonet just jumping on a bloodletter.
I
Like
just
magic
don't care.
sword, 10 bayonets, no problem.
Give me 1,000 cultists trying to take down some elves or
How is
super
a
soldiers.
thousand cultists different than 1,000 guardsmen? Guardsmen
Because
are basically cultists
in
with
my
better
mind,
kit.
yeah, because
They're
the
just
1,000
cultists with better
cultists.
loot. Like, what are we talking about?
No, because there's a demon prince behind the 1,000 cultists.
Oh yeah, and Celestine doesn't count. Okay.
Celestine doesn't count. So you know what?
Celestine's
I played Sisters.
Just take Celestine
They just
with the
believe so
guardsmen.
hard they have superpowers that they do. That's the best part about them.
Uh-huh. That is pretty great. All right. Ooh, we're 51 votes in 3 minutes. That's pretty good. Keep voting. Keep voting, everyone. I want to see, and
All right, I love
we're
it.
gonna do literally
Let me
nothing
tell
with
you,
these
there
results.
are no rules for peasants.
There really should be. I want my conscript rules back. I want to like, because come on, just like a generic guardsman picking up a gun, like just a dude. That's what I'm excited about.
That is true. Cultists are saucy, and currently Renegade Guard aren't supported.
I kind of miss Renegade Guard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the fact that you can also shoot into other people.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
I don't
I
miss
don't
the
have-
rules. I just miss having the army on the table.
I just don't like playing regular dudes. Like
Mhm.
I didn't play AdMac. I typically don't play Guard, but I'm also I got spoiled on Guard early because when I very first started playing the game, the guys that I played against the most were Guard guys. Oh, look at the shiny super chat.
When did? Oh yeah. Oh hey. Zero Max KO. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Max asks a very pertinent question. What was the verdict on orcs when their codex came out in a limited edition format? Were they allowed in tournaments?
They were not, my friend. They were not.
They were not. For example, the U.S. Open in Orlando came out after the box set came out, and orcs were not allowed. People had to play old orcs. And I think that's actually why Mark didn't play orcs. Was he's like, well, I have the new books, and I want to play the old one, so I'm just gonna do like a one-time fling with Eldar, and then as soon as the orc book is actually legal, I'll just play new orcs. So there's been a little back and forth. As always, there has been zero consistency. Let me give some examples.
What? That's not. There's no way.
We're gonna go through every 9th edition box set just so that people understand that this is the stupidest thing ever.
The next thing you're gonna say to me is that we have the same type of rules, but they're worded differently in every codex. Don't lie to me, John.
Brad, I'm not crazy enough to make something like that up. All right, so let's go through some history here. My memory is that the first limited edition box set of 9th edition for 40k was orcs. And
I'd have to go on that. The orcs, I know that didn't. The orcs weren't legal.
yeah,
So for sure,
orcs weren't
you
legal
couldn't
at a
play
US
the-
Open.
The orcs weren't legal
I-
for like 2 months.
I believe that there was not an FLG event in between the orc codex and the orc like real codex. Like the orc box set and the orc codex, I don't think there was an FLG event in between. I think that it went straight from, orcs are an 8th edition codex to orcs have their 9th edition book. Because like the orc codex.
Jake already looked it up for you, brother.
I looked up. Jake M looked up all the Reddit drama the other day. Okay, the only instance of an FLG event allowing a limited release book is Votan. Awkwardly enough, the only instance of a GW event allowing a limited release book was also Votan.
Man, those space dwarves.
Yeah. So like this is a thing. Like, why was Votan special, and why would we not apply it to Guard?
John with the super chat because I voted yes because no one should be votanned.
Yeah.
Also, Brad's anti-guard rant sounds just like my wife's. Clearly, she's the smart person in this relationship.
Yeah. I just assumed that she was short.
Well, that she also is.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Also, I'm pretty sure John's my height, but he refuses to admit it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep. Um, okay, yeah, the Orc book came out like during Lone Star Open, and there was another event till the full book was out. Yeah.
Nobody's your height as much as you want them to be.
my wife comes out of nowhere. By the way, I can't see her at all with
I
lights
can't
on.
either.
Britt just pops up and goes, "No one's your height, no matter how much you want them to be."
It's all right, Brad. One day you can be an 8 foot tall Primaris.
This is why I play Super Soldiers. Damn it!
Yeah. So so first of all, John Roberts, really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. I don't know. Like Votan, I think they did it because there was no other way to play the army. Like you couldn't have Votan and then just like, be like, oh well, I guess I'll use my 8th edition Votan Codex. Like if you have a Votan army, this was the only way to play it. Is that the reason that they made the exception? Because they made that exception in multiple.
I think that's just
US
because
Opens
it was
and
like literally a brand new faction.
Mhm.
Exactly what you're saying on that.
Yeah. So I guess I don't really love that. I don't think Chaos Knights had an event where it mattered. I think that they got a codex because they got a codex pretty soon after they got their box set. Because normally there's a couple of months in between these things. Like my memory,
Theirs came out almost immediately. I thought.
it was very close. It was like a couple of there might have been like 2 or 3 weeks in between, but like very close. Because I think that GW realized they didn't want Chaos Knights to have a book and Imperial Knights to not have a book. Then they didn't want to release the Imperial Knight Codex and not the Chaos Knight Codex. So they just kind of slammed it all in the same month in like April or something. But like the Orc Codex came out in like July, and then we got the Orcs box set. I'm sorry, came out in July, and we got the Orc Codex in I feel like it was Orctober because they literally only release Orc Codexes in October as far as I'm aware.
No, October's they always miss. They're going to release
then
stuff
maybe it was September.
for October, and they always miss.
I know that it was live for SoCal because I remember like SoCal happened and Orcs.
Yeah, get this. And it goes so much ambiguity with the guard rules. Get them sorted and let them play. Let them play. I'm still saying no, man.
All right, Jake M says that Chaos Knights was 4 weeks. Jake M has all of the deets here. This is good. Jake M, thank you. You're keeping us honest here. Black Templars was wild too. I remember at the I don't know what Frontline ruled for Black Templars. So I don't know what their precedent was, but I know that there was a case where like we had the Black Templar Codex for over a month, and I literally wrote a Black Templar list to take to US Austin. And then they came out with the Tyranid supplement. I'm like, I won't play Templars, I'll just play Tyranids. And I got there, and they were like, oh yeah, we're using the old Black Templar Codex. And I'm like, oh my god, I just almost showed up with an illegal army. Because like I just assumed it was out, because it had been out for months.
That is funny.
Yeah, but then like they did a Black Templar Codex like way later for no reason. Guard have waited 5 years for this book. Let them have fun. So like, here's a question.
Tim Gamini comes after that with, they waited 5 years. They can wait another month.
Exactly. Those darn guards, man. So like, how much of the decision here should be like sympathy for the players or actual like this is the right thing to do? Because I feel like sympathy for the players is not a valid card to pull. Because no matter what, someone has an old book, no matter what, and you can't help them. Like I don't accept that part, but I'm still in favor of allowing guarded LVO. Just because we have the book, it's in our hands.
We do, but we don't for everybody.
Just make an FAQ, and I acknowledge that this is probably the sticking point. But just Frontline Gaming's judges.
There's no FAQ.
Just sit in there.
Here's
just
the
make
thing,
one.
because I talked to Horton quite a bit.
Yeah.
Ryan Horton, one of will be the judge over at LVO, and one of the biggest things for that is you're asking the judges at a huge event to be up to date on a codex that they don't have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden we don't have an FAQ. Everybody doesn't have access to the book. And now you have people running around making rulings on a book that they don't have unless they are bought that special edition box. You know what I mean? They can do it over online basically and do it from snippets, but they don't actually physically have these books for them.
I feel like the don't have the book thing at this stage, and maybe this is me speaking with my gamer privilege right now. I feel like that's like a thin straw argument because the books, one, are so easy to buy.
You have the book.
I have 3 of the books.
Yeah, like most of us don't. I don't have the guard book.
But
I have
do you have like
my
a scan of it? Do you have a PDF of it?
yeah, I have
Yeah,
a
it's
PDF.
super easy to find a PDF of the book.
I'm like, I don't have of the book, but I'm just saying, like you're asking the judges to go, hey man, do you got that grainy PDF? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everyone has the book, Eddie. They do not all have the book.
Yeah.
But they need an FAQ. I think everybody, I've been saying this forever. GW should put out book also this weird box thing and then don't put
I do hate
the
the
book
box
out
thing and
is
not
stupid.
counting. Yeah, I agree on that.
So I do use Wahapedia more than anything to be to be fair.
To be fair.
But GW should put out a book and then they should put out the FAQ at least within 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You get enough games in and they should
Yeah.
already be ready to go.
That is the thing. I don't understand why GW treats the separate from a box release as the release date for like when they do their FAQs. Because they want to drop the FAQ like usually it's like 3 or 4 weeks after the book comes out. That's when they do it, and it's annoying to wait that long. But like, come on, if they're making us wait 2 or 3 or however many months, that's going to be annoying as hell.
Well, I just don't get it. I mean, I don't like. Here's the special edition box set, which people are going to buy anyways, and then they just give me the book availability also.
That's fair. JCM shirt left with a super chat. Thank you so much, JCM. This is the last LVO for 9th. It's now or never if you want to play the 9th edition Codex and 9th edition LVO. It's FLG's event. They could set their own FAQ, and they could say, yes, you have to have the new book. I get why they don't want to do an FAQ, because that is really messy, and Brad makes some good points there. And honestly, there's a lot to FAQ with the new guard book.
Yeah. There's also about 50 entries in that book.
Yeah, it's that there's so many different errors, because it's how guard interacts with everything. Yeah. Just let guard win LVO so that they can be nerfed a week after. Excellent. Let's get Kasserkin banned from the game on February 1st.
I like your style.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a bunch of there's gonna be there's literally gonna be like 300 3D printed Kasserkins there, and then they're just all gonna get thrown out like on the way out of LVO. Like you're gonna be like packing up your army, walking out after the tournament. You're gonna see a trash can full of 3D printed Kasserkins because GW dropped an FAQ mid event. We're just like, absolutely not.
They've done that before also.
I mean, like the first time they see a Kasserkin squad kill 3 Custodes Dreadnoughts, they're gonna be like, what?
The thing is that they've also done. What was it? Last LVO or the one before it, where we got the data slate like in the tournament?
So we got the data slate post LVO. I
thought we literally got it that weekend.
No, we didn't get it that weekend. They waited like a week or two. My personal favorite though, this is very tangential, is that at the Nova Invitational in 2019, they dropped an update to Custodes the day after I brought the Orions on stream and scored with them because they were Lords of War, not Flyers. The next day, like less than 24 hours later, document on Warhammer community, Orions are Flyers, not Lords of War. And I take credit for that, even though they almost certainly had that in the wings anyways. But like, I take credit for that.
I like when you guys broke the game so hard. They nerfed after Siegs and I's LVO final. They literally wrote an FAQ on the plane that was coded for stuff.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
No new Codex, but also nerfed the old book to be spiteful. Perfect.
Yeah,
Don't
that
know why
is
this annoys you so much.
I hate, where they're just like, oh yeah, we're not gonna. All right, no, you got me on that one, Matto. You got me there. The fact that they're not allowing all of these documents expire in January 23. Also, you can't use the new book. Like, whoa. Again, all of that makes sense in a vacuum. It's just so. It's not even like it's wrong. It's just that I look at that and I think of the guard player and I'm like, what are you like? What do you do?
I mean, just have Brett just pick everybody up and slam them down.
Yeah,
he's 11 feet tall.
Brett Urbanowski is just going to do push-ups on everyone until they submit.
He's just rampaging like the whole through the entire place.
Peaches the Destroyer, the $5 super chat. Sweet, made it to the Brad hour. Didn't miss out. Are we talking about Space Wolves? Peaches, we are unfortunately not talking about Space Wolves. We're debating armies right now that have codexes and rules, like real armies, not Space Wolves.
No. Adam makes a good point on that too. Do the guard secondaries even work with the new keywords?
Absolutely not. You
Not,
could you
absolutely.
no, to be fair, in the new book, even though you can still score points on all 4 secondaries. Just a lot less. For example, boots on the ground caps out at a 4.
Yeah, they have all
Caps
kinds
out
of
on a
dumb
4.
This is why they just need an FAQ.
Yeah. Whatever it is, Inflexible Command still caps out at a 15. You just can't do the kill with an order one because there are no orders that you can receive that interact with that.
Do we want to segue and make these together on the fact that I think it's just super weird that we're just losing all the other things on January 1st?
Yeah, I do find that weird. So, like, I'm going to be honest with you. My assumption first of all, right? Why? So, why is because the campaign supplements kind of suck and we don't actually need them. But like I'm not even gonna lie to you, Brad. When I saw that document back in like April, my assumption was that, these rules are good until January 23. They must be planning to publish this document every January. Like, that was my first thought. I was just like, this is for the rest of the year, and at the beginning of the new year, they're going to put out another document. And they're just going to update it every January and say, yep, it's good till next January. They're just going to drop it every time.
Or, counterpoint, F you. We're just going to... You just lose your stuff. Also, if you weren't paying a lot of attention, you don't even know you're losing their stuff, because that was like a literal byline, basically.
Yeah, it's like an italicized asterisk from April. And yeah, if you don't notice that, it's like, sorry, buddy.
Like, also, if I didn't do what I do, I would show up to a tournament with one of these and just be like, what do you mean it's not legal? Cool. I guess I'll throw my army in a fire in a bucket. So
the Bloody Rose supplement is not out in January because the Bloody Rose supplement came out after this document was published, and it's therefore not referenced in it. Martyred Lady is out in January. Bloody Rose stays. Just in case you had any doubt about which order you should be running. Like,
there's
if you
other
had
orders
any
besides
questions.
Bloody Rose?
Exactly.
That is true. Matt goes, imagine being the Death Watcher AdMac player getting wrecked for like no reason. You're like, hey, Death Watch.
Yeah, I'm just picturing like Fred Fortman with like a single tear. Just like rolling down his face, like I don't even play Death Watch anymore. Why are you coming after me?
Fred and Mark are just giving each other a hug.
Oh my god!
Why?
Yeah, yikes.
But why are we? Why? I don't understand why we're getting rid of those though. What is the point?
Yeah. I don't really understand.
Get rid of them 10th. Why? You're just like, make them sadder. The Marine players weren't sad enough when we told them maybe they were losing because they're just not good.
Yeah, make them more sad. No, I don't really have an answer to that, Brad. Like, I don't understand why they are cutting these campaign books in January. And again, I don't blame FLG for that. It is very strictly following the rule that GW published on their website. So I'm not going to be mad at LVO for that one. It's just a hilarious coincidence.
I'm not going to be mad at LVO at all. I just don't even understand why GW did it. They're just like, hey, you're not allowed to play a couple of these things. Why? Figure it out.
Get them out of here.
What?
Ooh, Peaches the Destroyer says, just let Guard have their fun with the new book. Gotta give credit. It's the closest I can get to seeing Russ back in action. Oh, you're gonna see Russ back in action, all right.
Yeah, but
Peaches, you're gonna see so many Russ back in action that you're gonna miss the days of Chimera Plasma Spam.
I'm gonna say that I really like Russ being back in action, but that shameful Rogel Dorn tank.
All right, so first of all, the shameful Rogel Dorn, it should have been named after someone else.
Just like anybody, like Ted.
Literally.
It should have been named after Ted the Sergeant.
Honestly, they should have named it after like Elenius Pius or something
Solar Macarius.
Yeah, well, they already have a Macarius tank, so they have a Macarius and a Macador, but like honestly, like literally named after anyone, named after Valdor.
I mean, any of those
right?
things.
Is there honestly 50% chance there's already a Valdor tank, but if there's not, they should have named the Rogel and the Valdor.
That is true. WC has no problem just making adjustments. Yeah. But they've been their kind of own entity for a while now.
Yeah, WGC is very independent. I mean, I'm not affiliated with Frontline or LVO, so I can't really say what drives their decision making. But like I don't blame the decision. I wish guard was allowed because that would just make sense to me. But like that's the very simple like book out. Book is in my hands, therefore it should be played. The new Bill tank would have been better. Rogaldorn is lame. Thank you, Greenblood Crusade. I would play the I would play a Bill tank. Honestly, I feel like the Rogaldorn coming out is just proof that Rogaldorn is never coming back.
The Magnus did nothing wrong battle tank.
I can think of at least one thing, Brad. Just at least one.
I'll go to Eric real quick. He goes, how bad was it the GW Blame Marines and the players? The Blood Angels won the Super Major the next weekend. Blood Angels were literally their own thing.
Yeah, Blood Angels aren't Space Marines. Like
they
get
know
it.
the Space Marines. They live adjacent to them in a gated neighborhood.
Yeah, Space Marines is just a Codex supplement where Blood Angels get a couple of new stratagems because Blood Angels don't even use any of those data sheets. Like, who are we kidding?
I was just about to say, what did they use? They use troops.
They use the troops.
They use the troops.
Yeah, all the characters you take, it's like maybe a chaplain, but maybe not. Everything you take is like Blood Angel character or named character. All your elites are just Death Company and Sanguinary Guard, and then maybe what? I don't know.
That's good. You know what? I actually want to think of this now.
Mm-hmm.
JC goes, if not LVO, what majors, super majors would guard be able to compete in before 10th? We are taking 3 to 6 months of use before 10th. 100% you are. They'll be able to go to. You also made them use
the Codex in 10th edition.
Yeah, I'm assuming that, but who knows? But they'll be able to go to Adepticon.
Yep, Warhammer Fest.
Warhammer Fest. What do we got in February?
February is Cherokee Open, so maybe we don't know when Guard are coming out, but if they come
MCM,
out at some point,
you got Motor City Madness up here. You got Rocky Top down in Tennessee.
Yeah, the Dallas Open maybe. Bay Area Open.
Bay Area Open.
Yeah, there's gonna be like. Because everyone's assuming that 10th edition is dropping vaguely in the summer.
Adam Blaine's got it on. He goes, "You guys are super major every month. You guys are holding super majors
there's gonna be still like
every weekend, basically."
But I feel like it shouldn't be. I feel like the reason for the ruling shouldn't be, well, if we don't allow it now, they may never get a super major in, like an LVO in 9th. That's not a real argument in my mind. Because, like, you know who is also not going to get that? World Eaters. Who cares? Like, sorry. Like, you can't just, like...
I care. Angra.
Okay. But, like, if it's not happening, it's not happening. It's unfortunate. I wish that, the physical book was released separately. Like, now. Just literally... honestly, why don't they just do it that way? Why don't they just do the box set and the Codex right now
together? And I don't understand why they're doing this box, and then they do
the models like 2 months later.
Yeah, I mean, people will buy the box set. You know what I mean? If you're down with the box set, you're down with the box set. You're not buying the box set just for the Codex, I don't think. You know what I mean? Because you can't even use the Codex. So why does it matter?
Yeah. I don't know. The biggest problem, it really seems to be the fact that it needs so many FAQs. Because, like, when Votan was allowed, you used the secondaries that were in the Votan book, and that seemed pretty easy because they were there, and it was all up to date. The Guard Codex doesn't have the secondaries in it. It's the Guard Codex secondaries that are in Nephilim are a dumpster fire. They just don't work.
Yeah.
And then there's the balanced data slate, which Votan didn't have a problem with, which, like, you can probably guess what's happening, but, like, I don't know. We're not really sure. You know, like, we could have guessed with the Chaos Space Marines. I would have been wrong. Zlack Onion has been a member for 12 months. Thank you so much. Coming in late this morning. Just heard that Admech are too human. What kind of people are you hanging around where when you see a manipulus, it just seems like a normal person with a computer chip? Do you...
Siegs. I know Siegler.
Zlack Onion.
He is clearly a robot.
Do you not have a USB port, Brad? Come on.
I'm also full of fake parts.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am basically mechanized, and Siegler is clearly a cyborg and has been one for a long time.
Oh, yeah, no, Siegler, he doesn't age as well. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, he's exactly the same because he's not real.
Yeah.
He is literally... he's downloading a program right now.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, actually, that you mentioned that. Like, I was scrolling through some pictures that I have on my phone, like, down memory lane, to, like, tournaments that I went to a while ago. And like multiple editions ago, and I see Siegler in it, and it's like, oh, Yeah, that's the same. Like it's like not only is it like the same haircut. It's like
it's not the
it's the
same haircut.
same.
It's exactly the same
It's the
because hair doesn't
same.
grow
It's
because
the
he's a
same
robot.
shirt, and the shirt hasn't frayed at all. I swear to God, he's wearing the same shoes, and they haven't even gotten worn down. I'm like, what? It's just Richard, and like me, like I'm wearing like my like 2016 NFC North champion Packers shirt or some crap. Like I've got a completely different haircut, no beard, like 3 pair of shoes ago. Maybe a belt size. And then I'm like, oh, that's the same Richard in the same clothes. I swear to God, he's wearing the same shoes and they're not worn. Like, that's the creepiest part. Is like his shoes are like 6 years old and the tread is still intact.
Because
like,
he's wearing hover shoes.
It's a time capsule. Like, I don't understand. You never gonna understand that. All right, we've got multiple chats that we need to address real quick. Thank you everyone for being active in the chat. We always appreciate that. It makes our day more fun. Hot take: 10th edition should just be an FAQ to the current codex until they get it right, then print a book. I imagine that that's what the point of all these like 6-month books that they're printing is that they're like slowly narrowing in on 10th, and then they're gonna finally call their shot and do a print. So like my assumption is that 10th is gonna kind of be like a 9.5 edition, but like I don't really know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't know. That's the problem.
That's what I'm hoping for, at least.
I would love that to be the case.
Yes, honestly, right? Like the game's pretty good right now. Like let's just take the model that works and just tweak it a little bit and keep going. Jackson, do you think if new guard are allowed, they will run over most of the tournament and win, or that they would fall off at high tables? I think that they would run over most of the tournament, and
They're just winning that tournament.
I would bet
plays amazing against them.
I would bet that we have 3 or 4 Imperial Guard in the top 8 of LVO if they were to come out 10.
They flatline so many armies right now.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's guard real strong. And like I have how I have like my wheelhouse of armies, Brad. That's how I like to describe it. Like I army hop, but like I'm never playing Death Guard. I'm never playing Harlequins again. I'm never playing Craft Worlds. I'm not a
Yeah,
player.
You played elves once.
I played once. I am done with elves. I am done with elves. I'm fully renouncing them. But anyways, like my wheelhouse of armies is like Space Marines, Sisters, Knights, Custodes, Tyranids, Gene Circle, Chaos Knights. That's like, those are like armies that I'm like, yeah, those are armies that I play significantly, I paint significantly, that I really enjoy, that I'll play just for the sake of it, not because they're good. And and Guard, because, I have a lot of Guard. But if Guard came out and they were like, oh yeah, Guard are allowed at LVO, if I'm picking my army, these 8 armies goes down to like 2.
I was saying,
and one of those 2 is Guard.
Yeah, I was saying, you're playing Ninja Guard.
And like, not all those armies are ones that I'm like seriously considering for LVO anyway. Like, I'm probably not doing the Custodes venture again. It was fun last time, but round 1 hurt, so we're not doing that again. But like, seriously, like I'm not kidding. Like if they're just like, oh yeah, Guard Codex is out, all the models are out, like Casterkins are out, Russ, everything, take what you want from the Guard Codex. I'm just like, oh, well, these 6 armies are dead on arrival.
It's not even close. You basically flatline the elves too.
Yeah, no, there's more armies that I don't play that are also getting flatlined on arrival. We'll see. Let's see. Peaches the Destroyer with his super chat. Breaking news: I'm in Ingles walking. Ingles walked by the diner, and I swear Stanley has risen from the grave and is cutting deli meat. You know what? I would accept it if Stanley was like making my cold cuts.
He actually just tried to fake his death so he could live a normal life.
Honestly,
I like everything about
I
that.
respect it. Since he's
Super power off. Do you like the leaks of the new World Eaters having much fewer strats? Maybe 10th is less bloat. Also, I missed flash kits in the list yesterday. How dare you didn't have flash kits? You played them yesterday without.
No. In the top 10 highest damage output, or the most lethal units in the game. We forgot flash kits. We forgot flash kits. Our bad.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, they weren't.
When I think damage, I think flash kits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do I like the new leaks of the World Eater Codex? I am not aware of any. Genuinely, this is just because I'm just like not a chaos guy at all. So I haven't really read them. I'm aware that they are leaking. I don't know if they're true or not. I don't know much about that. However, since I don't know, do I like the leaks of them having much fewer strats? If they have, so like what? A normal book is like 4 pages of strats. If World Eaters had 2 pages of strats and they were all pretty useful, I think that would be great. Cut every book from like literally cut their stratagems in half and make all of them pretty useful. I'd be totally okay with that.
Apparently Australia's using that.
Yeah, I think they're using it with no no data slate at all. Secondary keywords are being modded to be logical. Yeah, that it's not hard to look at the secondaries, look at the new guard codex, and figure out what they're supposed to do. Because it's all like, ooh, regiment and regimental. Yeah, those aren't the same, but like, all right, we know what they mean. You know, Voxcaster and Master Vox. Yeah, that's probably the same. Tank orders and mechanized orders. I wonder if those are supposed to be the same thing. I'm like, yeah, okay. The hard part of this for me is that it's entirely possible because GW's been on the new book every 6 months for a while thing, right? And they're reprinting the secondaries every 6 months. So if that's the case, we got a new book because we got Knockment last. We got Knockment last January, which means we're probably getting Warzone Bifflum, as Jack likes to call it, this January. So there's every chance that the Guard Codex comes out in January. It could be February, but yeah, maybe it'll be January. And then they release Warzone Bifflum like a week before or a week later. And then they're like, oh yeah, here are the new Guard secondaries that are designed for the new book. And you know what? The old Guard secondaries were broken because the book was terrible. So these new secondaries are toned down because the book is awesome. And it could be that the Guard Codex was not designed to be released at the same time as broken secondaries. It was designed to be released with secondaries that are difficult to achieve and make the army play, rather than being, I've got 99 points sitting on my table quarter, and I have 75 guns pointed at your quarter if you come out to stop me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, that sucks. Like, the fact that Guard outscore me without shooting and also shoot so effing hard, like, ugh, terrible. I hate that.
Yeah, all the things. We got a couple of chats here. We should get them.
Pouring in. Let's do it. Should Mortarion be 360 points like Angron? I'm assuming that is the leaked points cost for Angron. So, cool. I don't really know what Angron does, so I don't know if that's too much or too little. Should Mortarion how many points is Mortarion right now?
450.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot. I wouldn't go 360 for Morty.
He's significantly more durable. He's T8, Angron's T7.
Oh, okay. I would vote for Mortarion. He's 450 right now. I would vote him down to 400. I have a principle that Richard and Jack like to disagree with, that you should never cut or add more than 50 points off of a unit at a time.
Mortarion, 130. Got it.
Oh no. Let's see. Super Baharoth with a super chat says they get 8. The Army of Renown gets 8 at the exclusion of the normal 8. Okay, so there's 8 stratagems, and then if you take an Army of Renown, you get 8 different stratagems instead of them. That's kind of cool. I mean, if they're doing less
for a while,
that's
we don't
not bad. Yeah.
use 90% of the strats anyway. So the sheer number of nonsense strats right now just bothers me in a competitive way. You know what I mean? So it's just none of those get taken.
That's fair.
I keep buying these blocks of cards and literally using 4 of them.
Absolutely, but I buy them every time. Maddo says, how do you all feel about the FAQ/missions cutoff for Las Vegas? I get it for judges, etc., but does it risk being the yesterday's 40k event? So I feel like if it's not a GW run event, there's always the risk of yesterday's 40k, and that's just unfortunately something you have to accept.
But that's been that way for a long time.
It has.
Like we always have cutoff dates for all big tournaments. Yeah. It's just people don't. A lot of times, a new release doesn't fall into that, so you don't notice it. But there's always a cutoff for every big tournament for rules and everything else. It's just this happens to be a little bit different because of the fact that the box release and everything else. But there's always about a month or so where new releases are cut off.
Yeah, so I think that I don't think that that's a real risk because I don't see it. There's no way around that. The only way around it is to have all the rulings ready for advance and have the community have the rules in advance, which means that's just it comes up before the cutoff day. So I am okay with the risk of yesterday's 40k because there's no way for an independent tournament to fix that. So I can't blame Frontline for putting a cutoff date on LVO. Every event has a cutoff. Like that's just how it has to be. And then we've got probably Coco.
This is so easy.
Probably Coco with a £5 super chat. How would you guys fix Lookout Sir / character protection? It's not very interactive to be shot to death or charged by a Disco Lord / Abaddon. Brad,
It's so
it sounds
easy.
like you're ready to go.
It is though, because we had this in like previous editions. Just it non-visible units shouldn't stop you from shooting a visible unit. So if he's the closest visible unit, you just shoot him in the face. That's that. You just change the rule to that. Then
The
you
problem
can't
is that
fa-
with closest visible, then you get to the weird angle sniping stuff.
angle sniping stuff, yes, but it should be. We can work the rule there. It's if there's nothing else that is visible on the board, it's just dumb that you just have like a Disco Lord just waving at you, going, "Hey guys, how's it going?" You're like, "He's clearly there, sir. How about we shoot him?" Can't. Why? We just can't. It says right here in the pamphlet, we're not allowed to shoot him.
Yeah,
You're
you
like,
might hit Jimmy the cultist. Oh yeah, where's Jimmy? Why can't I shoot Jimmy? I
behind
do
a
agree.
wall.
I do agree that they have to fix it so that if you, yeah, you shouldn't be able to see a character and then not be able to shoot anything at all. That part always sucks.
all of the yes.
That does bring up the good point. I just remember the pre-nerf Drukari Atlantic City Open from a few years back. That genuinely was the worst. As someone who refused to play Drukari at that event because I was just tired of the army. That was the worst. We're like, yeah, we know they nerfed Dark Eldar, but we're just gonna let it slide. And then that sucked. I hated that.
No, the thing is, double goes. You have to remove 66% amount of the shots. No, the thing is that you basically treat it like smite. You know what I mean? I can't smite anything, but I can just use the closest visible.
Yeah.
That means you just can't face tank with guys that are standing there. That means you have to have a visible unit if you want to put a character out there. What's wrong with that?
Brad, I'm gonna call you out. We were
What?
talking about the Atlantic City Open where unnerfed Drukari won. An event that you won with Drukari that didn't exist. And when we brought that up, you just picked a comment at random and changed the topic.
I didn't pay attention. What happened now?
Yeah, that's what I thought, Brad.
No, I literally didn't.
Oh, I read the comment about how pre-nerfed Drukari won ACO. After the nerf came out. That was you.
Yeah, because of the fact that we basically had rules cut off, and that didn't make the rules cut off. You're welcome. And I played with those rules, and I did well with those rules.
I hate you, Brad. Drukari was plenty broken anyways. We didn't need that.
Oh, yes, we did. You guys bullied me into that, by the way. I didn't want to bring that liquefier stuff.
Really? I bullied you into that?
You didn't bully me into it. The rest of the guys, they were like, if you don't bring this, you're an idiot. So I changed my existing list, which had all the...
Who's they?
They?
Give me
they?
Give me some names here, Brad. Who bullied you into running liquefier guns?
Nick told me I was a fool. The entire Michigan crew told me I was a fool.
So Nick. That's the only name I've heard so
basically
far.
all of a state.
Nick and the state of Michigan. The whole state of Michigan. Well, Brad, I didn't expect you to give a damn about the whole state of Michigan.
This is true. However, they did just beat my Buckeyes, so I'm sad.
Yes. Maybe they'll do it again. That'd be funny.
No, that would not be funny.
Oh,
you take that back.
All right. Cody just says, we are they. Fair enough. All right. Well, the crowd seems to be pretty done voting here. We've got 274 votes, in which thank you everyone who voted. If you didn't, just click the button. Saying 61% of them said that yes, we should have guard at LVO. I think yes, as long as you can put a big FAQ in. That would be the ideal scenario, and I'll be my normal kind of dotting the line here, working in the shades of gray. I get why TOs wouldn't want to put the amount of effort required into an FAQ to solve this. Chris Frozen
I got your back, Nurgle Matt.
If you don't ban the book, do you ban models that aren't out? Honestly, yeah. Yeah, if they were to allow the book, I wouldn't allow the Rogal Dorn. I wouldn't allow Lord Solar. They did it with Votan, and we were all very grateful, and I see no reason to change that now.
I need an FAQ for all the armies, to be honest. I just don't like when releases come out without an FAQ right behind them.
That is the worst part. Is that yes, there are problems with LVO and Guard, but let's identify something here, which is that we wouldn't be in this situation if GW would just put out an FAQ. That would be the easy way here. That would remove all the problems. Like this, they could just put a little document on Warhammer Community sometime in the next couple weeks, and then we'd be good.
Or they could electronically release the Codex so we have the rules. What? What?
Brad, don't be silly. There's no way that they have an electronic copy of this. They'd have to scan all the pages.
Annoying.
All right.
It's why I buy the print codexes, because I'm an old man and I like the smell of paper. But I would rather have an electronic codex because I would get both, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like to read the fluff. I like the stories. But for the rules, I'd much rather have, because it's a living document then. You know what I mean? It's changed. Mm-hmm. And also, I don't know, maybe when they change things, you could have a change log like everyone else in the universe does, so you know what actually got changed. I want to pummel whoever does that. You don't put out a giant thing of changes and don't have a change log.
I like the purple text always works for me. What kills me is just that every once in a while they remove a thing and there's no color.
They don't say anything.
That's what kills me. Like we've had that happen where like a month in, we're just playing with a rule and someone's like, "Oh, technically you don't do it that way anymore." I'm like, "What do you mean? It's in the FAQ." And they're like, "It was removed and no one said anything." I'm like, "Oh, what?" Like I didn't control F every old rule to the new rule. Like, son of a gun.
I like the overpriced book. Yeah. I buy the books for that story because I do read all the stories.
I do like to read the lore. I like to reference the pretty colors. I get it. We did have one question in the Discord that I wanted to hear Brad's answer. And that's a question from a nice young up and coming player, a big fan of the Art of War, who's been in the Discord for a while. His name is Nick Nanavity. Anyways, Nick Nanavity asks, "What should I take to LVO?"
Not what he took a minute ago. Yeah, he actually should. They should make guard legal, and Nick should try to play that guard army against him.
I would. Jeez.
Oh, God. Woo!
Ooh, yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Super Baharath with the $5 super chat. What would your guard FAQ be? All right, if I got to write the guard FAQ and I didn't have like any weird
time.
What's that?
We have enough time for that? There's so many things.
Yeah, no, I've got time to do this. All right, hold on. Guard FAQ. 1. Change all instances in the secondary of regiment to regimental. 2. Change orders and tank orders to regimental orders, perfectus orders, and then to mechanized orders. 3. Nick has to play Crimson Fist at LVO. 4. Honestly, Castricans can only deal 6 mortals per activation, not per target. 5. 6 to hit doesn't count as a 6 to wounded born soldiers. It just auto wounds nebulously. 6. You change the mechanized order full speed ahead or whatever. Full speed, full throttle. Gunners, or like full throttle, whatever it is. To +2 to move or advance and shoot. Your call. Not the same order. Just one or the other.
Carskins are 6 mortals to
7.
Any purely shoot. Not every target.
Yeah, we already put that in one in there. We already put the Castricin nerf in. 7, give what his name, Leon, does make him a tank, make him a vehicle commander, said he works for the secondary, honestly. Because like right now, like he orders tanks, but he doesn't count as an officer for the like have your vehicles near officer things. Because he's not a vehicle, he's just an officer who happens to know that. That's a good 7, I think. 8, Lehman Russ plus 10 points, both commander and the normal guy. I think I'd be good with that, right? And also, you don't use anything for the balance patch, just so we're clear. Like, not a single snippet of that text is allowed. Brad just, like, phased out and doesn't even know what I said.
I do, but I'm looking at the fact that Matt goes, "Brad, you convinced Tom to get table service again at the MCM," and he did.
Ooh, fancy.
No, it's not even just the drinks and everything, but they had all of them. You know what I mean? You can get non-alcoholic, you can get whatever. You know what I mean? They literally had it. It was very convenient. They had waiters walking around to all the tables.
Yeah.
So it was very, very nice.
Fair enough. Sir Dragalord, Ursula can't stack their strength on a unit. I personally don't even care if the medic uses the strat to res an Itachi. If you want to spend a CP to res a Bulgrin, honestly, hell yeah. Like, who cares, right? Like, just pop off, King. Like, I'm not going to be mad if there's an extra Ogre and Bodyguard on the table. That is not an FAQ list. It's fundamentally changing units. You're darn right, Ben Andrews, as they should. Like, absolutely correct. Yes, but they should do it.
Mary goes, remove the relic, the remove modifiers, ignore
yeah.
the finial.
Turn the finial from an aura to a command phase selection. Which still might be too
I don't know
good.
if it makes that much of a difference, though, because you're only focusing on one thing half the time that matters for.
I was thinking more, what do you do then? You just take away the phase cap part of it, just make it an aura of ignore hit mods?
No, because then it sucks.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, I mean, but honestly, like, it still wouldn't be the worst relic in the book, you know?
And the thing is all the new books are coming out with something that ignores phase cap, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. What if you let one unit ignore phase caps? No ignore hit mods, just one unit ignores phase caps.
I still don't know if I take it because I don't care. You have ways to do mortals in multiple phases anyways.
Fair enough. I like ignoring field pains best, honestly.
Yeah.
Is 9 Scout Sentinels and 3 Death Strikes to deployment, trap, and bomb someone a viable strategy? No, but I'll do it anyway.
Fun.
Someone request that game. Me with 9 Scout Sentinels and 3 Death Strikes playing against Nick's Chaos Army. Let's go!
You would win. I was just about to say, you would win a couple games against top players because they don't have the resources to deal with that fast enough, and you would roll the 16 mortals each time.
Yeah. So that's the only way I know how. All right. If unreleased models aren't permitted...
When is Cherokee anyways?
Cherokee is in February, and I really don't know when in February. It's close enough to LVO that I looked at it, and I was like, I don't know if my schedule is going to allow this to happen.
I think I might be going to Cherokee. I'm going to 2 different events with Blake.
Cherokee is hard to get to is the problem.
Which one's that? Where is that?
It's in Cherokee.
But you gotta narrow that down for me.
Okay, it's 4 hours from the nearest airport.
Well, that seems far.
Yeah, no, it's on a resort. It's on a reserve in a mountain that you can't rent cars at. There's no car rental there. There's It's not. There's
Guam?
no.
Like a
seriously,
top?
it is a mountaintop. There's no airport in Cherokee, so you have to fly into Charlotte or Raleigh or something, rent a car, and then drive 4 hours.
Got it. That seems.
Yeah, it's the least convenient event to go to. It's you can drive to it. And if it's in driving range, it's totally fine. It's just driving to another event. But it's if you're trying to fly. You are indeed going to have a difficult time.
I'm flying into Wingfield's house and just making him drive me.
No, what's his name? I know Vanilla and some guys from New Jersey. They flew into Atlanta to get to this thing in North Carolina. That was the most.
Those are not close to each other.
That is correct. 100% true. I think they took a 4-hour Uber and had to split it and paid $75 a person in a car of 4. It's a $300 Uber.
Are Carskins going to get nerfed before they hit the board?
I mean, you can get the Caskin models if you're willing to spend a lot of money.
But I'm just saying, are they going to be nerfed before they get legal play?
No, they're not. They really should be. The fact that they're not going to is going to break my effing heart. But they really need to do that one.
Right. I kind of want to see you throw that down in a major tournament, though, and just do it on stream. Look into the camera while you're about to shoot them.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I have set up the full wombo combo. Observe. Yeah!
Breaking their hearts.
I mean, you really could do it to them. You really could.
60-40. Should guard be allowed at LVO?
60-40. That's a majority, but it's not a super majority. I don't know if it's enough. We'll see.
We'll see. Not a 2/3.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here.
This is getting line item vetoed.
Yeah, really. If I got to draft the scenario, it that allows guard at LVO. It's the guard book goes for sale tomorrow. GW drops an FAQ before LVO, and they just put a couple of reasonable nerfs. Dakota Phoenix with a question here.
Oh my god, I can go so many.
Oh man, what decision by GW was the biggest head scratcher? So
the fact.
So are we going for this was a bad decision or this made no sense? Because if it's no sense, I've got one, but it wasn't a bad decision.
Well, the orc thing. Would you go any of those things where they literally put out. The orcs were one of my favorites for this, but they've done this multiple times. Mm-hmm. So what happens is they they hype up a faction. They're like, you should get this, and they run all kinds of like their inner deal commercials and psych of it
Yeah.
up, and then don't have anything available for purchase and don't make them legal for a
That's pretty
while.
funny.
You're like, yeah. Do you think you can continue this hype for 2 months from now? Because that's when we're actually going to let you do things. You're like, why would you do advertising for something that you don't have product for? It doesn't make any sense.
COVID hits you hard, man. My biggest head scratcher, and I'm going to defend the decision because it was the right one. But my biggest head scratcher is that they released a Codex supplement and an Army of Renown for Tyranids that were good for like 3 months. Like 3 months of legality. And you know what? Once we saw the Tyranid Codex, I get it. I understand why you had to take those things away. We deserve that. That's all right. But like, if you told me when that book came out, hey John, this book right here is going to be legal for 3 months. Like what? Like come on. Spend $40 on that.
All of the things. Well, it could be like, wait, remember the Screamer? The Screamer Flamer. This is
Oh no, I do remember that. The White Dwarf one?
Yeah, the little
I was
pamphlet
there.
you got.
I was there for that, Brad. I've been playing for that long.
That thing was ridiculous. You're like, hey man, buy these models. They were metal at the time too.
No, that was when they got plastic models.
Oh, they did get the plastic kit on that?
They got but then they sold out like instantaneously. So everyone was using
because
the
they
metal
were
ones anyway.
insanity.
Yeah. So for anyone, this is our last thing, by the way, because I'm about to go start.
Jake
making
says
my
he
lunch.
will pick me up if I go to.
Ooh.
Brad will come pick you up and bring you back with wine for the ride if you come to Cherokee. I love
that and a
everything
super
about
chat.
this.
Jake M, my hero. All right. So here's where I'm. The White Dwarf. This came out in, was this 6th edition? I think.
So, yeah,
I think it was
so.
6th. So there was a White Dwarf that came out, and it just had a pamphlet in the back of it that was like,
It was
here's...
literally 2 pages of rules.
Yeah, it was like, no, it was like 4 because it also had all the Slanesh chariots and stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no one cared about
2
that part.
pages and anybody gave a shit.
And they released like an Age of Sigmar. I think they released a Fantasy Codex, and they had a bunch of demon models. And the 40k Demon Codex was like not coming out at the same time at all. And they're just like, oh yeah, since we made like 8 new kits, even though those kits already have rules in your book, we're just gonna give you 8 new data sheets to use them. And it's just like, oh, here is the new Plastic Flamers of Tzeentch, the new Plastic Screamers of Tzeentch, and they were bananas
They were
broken.
crazy.
They were crazy
like,
beyond belief.
I don't even know what to do because they ignore both of them ignored saves at the time. The Flamers did.
Yeah,
So
Flamers
it would be
just
like
didn't get
literally
saves
having
against them.
AP5 Flamers.
Yeah, no, that would be the equivalent of that. Yeah, if Flamers were just AP5 all the time, and they were just templates, and they were like pistols, so they could like just
They
like
could shoot
flame into combat. It
They could
was
fly into combat.
it was hell.
They auto hit. They had a Flamer template back then still.
Yeah,
And then you had the Screamers, which had
They
a
were so
3-up
good in
invul,
combat, yeah.
and you rerolled ones.
and you could give them +1 invuln if you really felt like it. It's like
Yes. It was nuts.
It was so
and then
bad.
you couldn't put a template on them. Oh man, it
and
was
they
crazy.
were good in combat too. Like, 'cause they were armor bane, right?
What's that?
Weren't they armor bane?
Yes.
Yeah, this is so dumb.
Well,
They were
just
like- they were
ran
like those
max of them.
shred
You ran
dreadnoughts
3
and
units
land
of
raiders.
Flamers and 3 units of Screamers.
Imagine if like a unit of like Screamers like on average picked up a Land Raider, because that's what they were. It was so not good. Just flying around with a 3-up invul and acing every vehicle on the table, and you're just looking at this like, what is happening?
That was also because the Flamer wounded on a 4-up against anything that was tough.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah, because Flamer's always wounded on a 4-up, and they were AP 2, so terrible. All right,
just
that's
crazy.
enough. That's enough reminiscing, Brad. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, as always. I appreciate the 61% of you that voted for Guard being allowed at LVO. But you know what? We'll see what happens. It seems that, you know what? Honestly, like when I actually like play with Guard again, I'm gonna like look at that and be like, man, I'm actually kind of glad this isn't a LVO. And we're just gonna wait until that gets an FAQ.
You know what? I'm going to end this with a better thing, John.
Yeah.
Because my wife, because she's a crazy person and that's why we're married, just jumped on top of the bed, which is right in front of me, and just did a topless shake for me and then just wandered off
Brad.
into the sunset.
Well, it seems like it's time to hit that end of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Welcome, guys.
you.